talk about Jordan Travis's play and how he handled big moments in that game, namely the 4th and 14 hitting Parchment on that play.
Yeah, I mean, he just continues to get better. I mean, when you're looking and talking about a guy, like I said, this is really his first year. He's getting better every week, and he's getting more comfortable every week. And you watch him in the pocket, and he's not scrambling out of the pocket. He's going to his first read, second read, third read, fourth read. There are 3 times in the football game he hit his 4th option. One of those was the 4th and 14, 4th and 13, whatever that was at the end. That was his 4th option on the play. We had great protection. He stepped up. He stayed poised, went through his read, and threw the same route that he threw in practice on Friday. Same thing we threw in practice was that dig route. And he threw it great in practice. We executed it, threw it great in the game. So I couldn't be more pleased with his development as a quarterback, not a runner. Everybody keeps saying runner. The kid's quarterback, and there's no question about that.
I think following up on that, when you first got here, you said you thought something along the lines of it was crazy that people didn't think he could throw the ball or couldn't progress into someone who could throw the ball consistently. What did you see about 2 years ago to lead you to believe that he could grow into what he's becoming right now?
Well, you saw a kid who was inconsistent, and he was only inconsistent because there was no consistency about his feet. So you'd see a guy who would make, 1 out of 4 throws would say, holy cow, like there's the talent there. And then 3 out of 4 throws would be not so good. And it was purely the consistency of his feet and then the belief. It's hard to play quarterback. It's hard to do anything without belief. If you don't believe you can achieve something, right, what are you going to achieve? Nothing. And that was one thing that for him is I knew he had the ability. I believed in it. I saw it. And it was, let's get you consistent with your feet, right? And then I'm going to believe in you and I'm going to support you. And I think he believes in himself now, and that's one of the most important things. He believes in himself. I think people are starting to believe in him. And whenever other people start to believe in you, that obviously helps, which hasn't always been the case around here. I think he's making some people start to believe in things that, I saw 20 months ago. And I just couldn't be happier for the kid. I mean, seeing his face after the game is always, it's a special deal. Special deal.
Andrew, obviously, I think earlier in the 4th quarter, maybe it was late 3rd quarter, the big play, the miscommunication, it seemed like between him and Jordan. I know that's what Coach Norvell said. For him to come back and get that moment, I guess, how nice was that? And then he talked about just his happiness, his thankfulness that the staff sticking by him when kind of he may not have been producing like y'all thought he would throughout the course of the year. I guess just him getting that moment and kind of a moment that's going to stick in that rivalry for a long time. Yeah,
I mean, I talked about it in our offensive meeting. I said, you've been here really, 5 months. You're trying to learn the offense, and you've done everything we've asked you to do. I mean, that kid's come in here and done everything we've asked him to do in terms of just trying to, be who we want to be as a program. That's hard to come in and be a transfer and just adapt to the culture. And he's done everything we've asked him to do from that point. And I told him, and I told the offense that moment will always be remembered forever. You would have been here, you went to a different institution, you transferred here, but guess what? You're now stamped in the history of Florida State forever. People in this state will remember you for that play forever. And that's something special, and it's a testament to a kid who he came here, not everything always went his way. Because that's one thing about us is you're going to have to earn everything you get here, whether you're a transfer, whether you're a 5th-year senior or a true freshman. And he had some ups and downs. He battled through it, and he earned his way back on the field. And his number was called. He made a play. And it fires me up, just the whole story that he went through to get to that moment to make that play. And it's a special thing for him.
Following up on him, midway through the season, there was a game where I don't even know if he got on the field or if he did, might have been briefly. But Coach Norvell said after the game that these last 3 weeks or so, he's really turned the corner. And what do you think changed, and how have you seen the change in practice?
I mean, I don't know if there was – he just started to click. I think for him, he started to realize that we're not going to lower our standard. We're going to set a standard, and we're going to force you to meet it. And that doesn't mean we're always going to meet it, right? But it doesn't mean we're ever going to lower it. And he finally realized that the standard's not going to be lower, and he has the ability to hit it. He is talented. He does have speed. He's fast. He's got good hands, right? But it's the everything else in order to hit the standard. And I think finally that one game where he didn't play a lot, he said to himself, well, dang, I do need to change these things. If I want to play here, if I want to play for this staff at this school, I need to adapt a few things that I do in terms of preparation. That way I can perform to my maximum level on game day. And he's done that the last 3 weeks, and that's why he got back on the field. It's a simple formula. If we think you can help us win, you're going to play. If we think you can't, you're not.
Yeah, Kenny, staying on that, just because so many people have asked us about it, what did happen on that play where it looked like Jordan throws a perfect ball to him and he didn't even seem to be looking for the ball?
Miscommunication, literally. We checked a play at the line of scrimmage, and one of our signals kind of got mixed up a little bit. So one person thought we were blocking and we were running off on a fade. The other person thought we were throwing a fade. So he thought he was actually running off the receiver in a man block situation. He didn't even know the ball was coming his way. Jordan thought he signaled the fade, which he did. They just miscommunication and threw a perfect ball, and it's one of those plays that's like the ultimate moment, that you see in sports. But like I said, he overcame it, and I got to do a better job making sure that our guys are on the same page when they audible and communicate like that. And that was something else Jordan did a phenomenal job of this week. I mean, I think he audibled like 14 plays for us at the line of scrimmage.
And then on the similar note, he made a similar throw to Ja'Kai late, on that game-winning drive. I guess Ja'Kai coming through in that moment also had another third down catch and another catch on third down that set up the field goal. What kind of weapon can that kid be moving forward? Because that's a huge play he made.
Big time play. And we talked about it as a staff. That's a guy who's shown up. And when we've called his number, he's made plays. So we need to call his number more. It's as simple as that. If in the moments, if you make plays, then we need to get you the ball more. So that's something that we're gonna attempt to do. Is he's earned it, he's deserved it, and we got to find a way to get him the ball more. Because that's 2 games that he's shown up in critical moments when we needed a play to happen.
Hey, Coach, throughout the week as you're formulating the game plan, how much did you see the run, the need to be effective, but also at times explosive in the run game? How critical was that as part of your game plan for Miami?
Yeah, always. That's always the staple of what we want to be. Whether we can run the ball well or not, we're going to try to establish the run early in games. Because I believe that's what it takes to be successful in college football. I know not all offenses believe in that, but we want to be able to run the football. And whether that's running right at somebody or whether that's influencing people and pitching the ball out the back door, right? Anytime you can scheme up or anytime you can run the football and create a 15 or 12-yard run, and you don't have to block people, it's obviously a plus. And I think we had a few of those in the first half on some influence pitches. But yeah, running the football is always going to be a huge staple of what we want to do.
Following up on that, Kenny, the pitches outside, I guess, what did you guys see in the week to make you think that would be a successful strategy? And what did it do for you to be able to build on that and kind of throw in some play action, other stuff as the game went on?
Well, we had a good beat on he's a zone pressure guy, 303 deep, 203 deep, hot fire zone pressures. And we had a good beat on when the pressures were coming. Jordan was dialed in to when the pressures were coming. So it allowed us to get into some really good plays, especially in the first half, to where Jordan was out there getting us into those explosive runs. People think anytime a quarterback checks, it means, he's checking to a pass, right? A lot of those runs, we checked into explosive runs based off of him recognizing what was about to happen defensively. So we kind of had a plan for how the defensive ends were going to play based off the defensive structure that was shown based off prep. Jordan got us into those plays to get those free plays on the edge. And anytime you do that, it obviously sets up any sort of play action off those plays. Because anytime you're cracking guys in the box, all your crack replace shots, crack replace play actions become more effective. So all the run game checks, going back to the last question, kind of all helped us create those explosive passes off the play action.
I actually have 2 for you. First one.
Only one.
What was your reaction when that game ended, seeing how the team celebrated and how they celebrated together?
Yeah, they're a special group of guys who stuck together, and it's pretty cool.
Secondly, what does BC present defensively that's difficult?
BC. Well, BC, is a really good defense. They're the third defense in our league. 4 down, defensive-minded head coach. I would say they're very similar to NC State from a standpoint of they're not going to do a bunch. When we faced, the Miamis and the Clemsons and the Syracuses, you get guys coming from all over, right? When you face a team like BC, you're facing more of a team that they're going to run 6 to 7 things, and their entire plan is going to be out execute, right? They're going to say, okay, well, we want to play this team more man. We want to play this team more 3 under 3 deep. We want to play this team more wall coverage in cover 2 based off personnel, and we're going to run it consistently over and over again. We're not going to bust. We're not going to give up the big play, and you're going to have to consistently beat us. And I think really good defenses make really small adjustments. And when you watch him and you watch Coach run their defense there, every game, they're not massive adjustments. They're super, super minor. It may be a guy in a 2-eye as opposed to a guy in a shaded nose because you're an outside zone or an inside zone team. It may be they bring a certain twist game this week instead of the certain twist game they brought last week. So the structural changes for him are not there. The small detail changes for him are there. And I think anytime you face a defense like that, you got to be ready because those small changes are what's going to make the difference in the game. Because are we going to be able to adapt to those small changes he makes with his internal twist games and how he's popping mid-game? Because it's going to change every single week. You're not going to know, right? You're going to know the structure. You're going to know what it looks like. You're going to know the coverage. But it's in the fine detail this week that we're going to have to be dialed in.
Jerry? Coach, offensive line, haven't talked much about their role in this game. Would you give us a little rundown on what you thought of the offensive line?
I thought from a protection standpoint, our guys did a phenomenal job. You look at the last play of the game on the 4th down, game on the line, right? Even though it was a 3-man rush, 0 penetration, right? And that's something that, that's the game. And throughout the game, Jordan had time in the pocket. When we're throwing, obviously the run and the play action set up that. I mean, the only time really we got in trouble was a bad play called by me on a 3rd and 1. They brought a pressure we couldn't pick up versus field blitz to the unbalanced. Just a bad call. It had nothing to do with the O-line, 100% scheme-based. And other than that, I thought our guys did a great job in the low red zone. The game on the line, you had Dylan Gibbons and Rob Scott, and those guys moved men and got us in on the quarterback sneak. And I was happy with how they played. That is a tough, based off all the movement they do, that's a really tough defense with all the internal twist games to actually get to the second level because they don't let you get to the second level. You're going to hit some gashes naturally in it, but I thought those guys did a good job handling the movement.
We'll go with a couple more. Ira?
In the second half, what did they do differently, or did you guys just miss some runs? I know you had the turnover, but also, were there plays there to be made, or were they doing things to take things away?
Oh, they switched. They stopped pressuring, just went to man free, and just lined up 7-man boxed the quarterback in, played some man free. So we had a few opportunities there that we still could have hit. Based off of some man-free answers we had going to the game, a screen, a couple runs where we were just super that close, get a kick-out block, and we wrap instead of go inside. But we had a few opportunities where we could have taken advantage of it, and we didn't. They just stopped pretty much running everything they did all year, and they just switched and played man-free for about 4 drives there in the second half.
Kenny, I'm not trying to be Oprah here, but I don't think you were getting emotional on Chris's question about Boston College's defense. So I guess what was that moment? Why did you just have the reaction you had to that question?
You got special kids, man. That's it. You got special kids.
Kenny mentioned earlier in a question about how Jordan was making the right checks when he recognized pressure was coming. How far has he come in that department from a year ago? I mean, how more often compared to a year ago is he confident enough to make those checks, and how much better is he at recognizing, making the right checks?
Well, he knows football now. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I was joking around about it. I'm like, how much different is it to like be on the field and, know football? Like, know you're hot. Know this is going to be 303 deep, right? Know they're going to pop the Sam when we're in FSL and the Mike's going to have to play the real route from bad leverage. But no, we can't block the Sam, so you're hot. Like, he knows football. He's intelligent. He's learned. He's put in the effort to learn it. And now he's playing it. So not only does he know it and see the picture, right, he is anticipating what's about to happen based off the picture. So anytime when you're back there, some guys are talented but don't know it. So you're just out there freelancing. He's talented and he's intelligent. So he's checking us into the right plays, which allow us to have explosive runs, which allow him to get us into good play actions. And then in the passing game, he understands protections, so he knows when he's hot. He knows if this guy blitzes, the Mike linebacker out of leverage, got to play the real. And he's calm and collected under those situations. He knew he was hot on a stick throw, and he threw the up route to Ja'Kai there in the fourth quarter, the one that he got banged up on in the fourth quarter. But he knew he had enough time to still throw the fade, because he had time and space. Those are things that you can only get if you're an intelligent football player and if you put in the work to learn football. And he is finally getting to that point where he, in my opinion, knows ball at a super high level, and he's only getting better and better.
Kurt, last question.
I know how collaborative you and Mike are with play calling. I don't know if the same kind of goes for fourth down decisions. I don't know, I guess, what your thoughts were and input you had on the field goal decision that ended up, I guess, winning y'all the game.
I mean, we're on the same page. I mean, I think it's actually a great call. It's a more aggressive call, and it's a more belief in your team. If you don't kick a field goal, you try to tie the game, and then they get the ball back with 2 minutes left. That's the best scenario. You go and score, and it's tied, and then now they have the ball with 2 minutes. You have no chance to win. You kick a field goal, you actually give yourself a chance to win the football game, right? You have no chance to win if you go for it. You got to win in overtime if everything goes perfect and you stop them. If you kick a field goal, you're actually playing to win the game. In the words of my alma mater, Herm Edwards.
Okay. Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you.